Welcome back. So now we are about to begin Act 4. And I wanted to show you that, just to keep up, we've lost two characters so far. There will be more. We have lost Tybalt and we have lost Mercutio. And if you will recall, Tybalt killed Mercutio, and then Romeo ended up avenging Mercutio, killing Tybalt, and so now Romeo is supposed to be banished.
In Act 4, Scene 1. Romeo and Juliet just had their wedding night, and he had to leave, of course, because he killed her cousin Tybalt, and so he's been banished. So we open up Act 4, Scene 1. Here we have, this is going to be Friar Lawrence, and Friar Lawrence is kind of like a monk, priest, sort of, anyway, a member of the Catholic Church. And then here we have Paris, and it has been decided that since poor Juliet has been crying and crying and crying, and her family thinks that it's because Tybalt was killed, even though it's really more to do with Romeo having been banished, her father has decided that they're going to move to her actually marrying Paris. And so Paris comes to tell Friar Lawrence that, hey, and keep in mind, this is Tuesday. Remember, they just met on Sunday, but now it's Tuesday, and Romeo has been banished. And so Paris comes to tell Friar, hey, so Lord Capulet says I can marry Juliet on Thursday. And the friar, of course, we know, and remember this is called dramatic irony because we are in on the secret and he knows something that Paris does not. Of course, Paris has no idea that Juliet has already married Romeo. So the friar is a little apprehensive about it. He doesn't really know how to handle it because, he really shouldn't marry Juliet to Paris because he's already married her to Romeo. So, anyway, they are discussing it, and in comes Juliet. And so then Juliet is talking to them, and Paris comes over here, and I'm going to put Friar in the background here. So Paris is saying to her something like, oh, my dear, I can't wait for you to be my wife. And she's pretty coy about it. Of course, she can't let him know. She's already married to Romeo, and she says something, she won't ever commit to him. And he says something, oh, happily met, my lady and my wife. And she says, that may be, sir, when I may be a wife. Of course, what she means is when I get to actually be a full-time wife to Romeo, but she can't tell him, right? And then he thinks that she is talking about him, of course, the whole time. And then he says, oh, you've been crying so much. Bless your heart, your poor face. And she goes, oh, my face was terrible anyway. It doesn't really hurt it. And he says something about that face belongs to him now. And she is not only talking badly about herself, but then also him because he's about to be the owner of her face. So, anyway. So then he kisses her goodbye, and off he goes. Goodbye, Paris. All right, so then, of course, we have, I probably should switch them around here, huh? So she's actually looking. So then we have the friar and Juliet talking to each other, and she says, oh, look, and she says that she'll just go ahead and kill herself with this knife as opposed to then marry Paris and give up on Romeo. And the friar says, oh, no, dear, don't do that. Don't do that. If you're that desperate, then I might have a plan. And so she says, look, I'd go jump off of a building rather than marry him. So whatever plan you have, he says, well, you really have to be brave. And she says, look, I'm brave. So he says, okay, here's the deal. So this is Tuesday, and your wedding is supposed to be Thursday. So what's going to happen is I have this potion. I will give you this potion, and you drink the potion, and then what will happen is that your pulse will stop, your skin will be clammy and cold, and everyone will think you're dead. You need to take it the night before your wedding, and you need to go in and then don't even let your nurse in there with you. And then he says that when you drink it, it will keep you like that for 42 hours. So then you'll be in the Capulet tomb. I will send word to Romeo that this is our plan, and then Romeo will come and he'll be there when you wake up, and then the two of you can go off to wherever and live happily ever after. And she says, oh, yay, that's a wonderful plan. I love it. I will absolutely do that. And so off she goes. It's a great plan, isn't it? Can you see anything that might go wrong? Stay tuned.